Cringe Crew Music Podcast, series number 2. This is the series where we listen to and review a band's entire discography. Currently working on Bring Me the Horizon, doing their 2010 release. There is a hell, believe me, I've seen it. There is a heaven, let's keep it a secret. You may notice something weird behind me. I have teleported. In the time since the last episode, I have moved. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's been like a week, but in real life, it's been like 3 weeks. So, my room admittedly kind of looks like a prison cell now that I'm looking at it on webcam. It's just this wall is brick and everything else is normal. I have not decorated it because shortly after I moved, I caught COVID, and I've been just the timing of stuff. Money's been really tight, so I haven't had the time or money to decorate my apartment yet.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of one of the garden suites from Bradford.
Yep.
Yep.
It's half dorm room, half prison cell.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But I'm working on it. So eventually. Before we get started, I figure we'll do the concert stuff and the vinyl update before we get into the album. I have not seen any concerts since the last episode, but as of recording this, tonight I am seeing Baby Metal and Death Clock, so I'm very excited for that. Yeah. That is a sold-out show that I got extremely lucky that they released 14 additional tickets, and I managed to snag one, so...
Damn.
And I actually just saw them both come through here not that long ago. I missed Baby Metal, just the timing of different stages and stuff, but Death Clock was really good.
Yeah, I've been wanting to kind of see them. Too bad they're not coming to my fucking city.
Rip-a-roni.
It's always fucking Philly or Cleveland, never fucking us.
Rip-a-roni.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As for vinyl updates, I got a CD that is not vinyl, but it is Strapping Young Lad's Alien. Fucking very, very fucking good album. I'll pull out the booklet. Hold on. Get to see this goofy ass picture of Devin Townsend. Hell yeah.
Oh boy.
I also got King of Limbs. Since we've talked about this album, it's grown on me, and I like it a bit more than I did since we listened to it initially. I've been listening to Codex a lot, so yeah.
Nice.
I also got the remastered version of Cynic's debut album, Focus. This is the refocus version. I'm not really a big fan of this album. I only really like the first track, Veil of Maya, but maybe I'll get around to listening to the rest of this at some point.
Veil of Maya's pretty good.
Yeah. And then I think Ted was saying that he got something before we finished. We started recording.
Yeah. So last weekend, as of recording this, I went to Louder Than Life in Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
4-day festival, dude. It was incredible. My feet still hurt from standing for 4 days straight. But there were some really, really good acts. I finally got to see Tool, which was dope.
Oh, they're good live. Yeah.
It was so good. My giant takeaways were: this is one of the best shows I've ever seen. Suddenly, I want to be high and do it all over again. Like, never had that desire to be high, but it was an experience. They were so good.
Yeah.
But I think like my big takeaways were that I kind of got surprised by a couple of bands. So Godsmack was the best performing band all weekend long.
They're actually surprisingly good live, yeah.
I don't care for Godsmack like on their record at all. Yeah. Live, they crushed it. It was so good. I'd seen them once before, but they played before Disturbed right after the guy from Disturbed had gotten his surgery, so Disturbed sucked. So it was like Godsmack was really good by comparison. No, they just actually crush it every fucking time. The other one that surprised me that was really, really good was Weezer. Weezer's a band that like I know their hits, I sing along but I never would have gone to see them had they not been a part of the festival show. But like now that I've seen them live, I will go see them 1,000 times over. They were so good live. They were absolutely fantastic. But I got a whole bunch of videos and pictures and stuff that I'll end up posting on a blog whenever I get my shit together and edit. And then the other thing was that I got vinyl in the mail as well. I pre-ordered back in May the 10-year anniversary edition of the Wonder Years' Greatest Generation. Nice. So it's the same like 4-sided album for the first 2 discs, and then The third disc is like a couple unreleased tracks that were recorded around that time and then remastered, and then also some like demos and bonus versions of the same kinds of songs. But it was actually the first record that I purchased on vinyl like 10 years ago, so it's really cool to get the collector's edition 10-year anniversary now. Really, really dope.
Nice.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, doing Bring Me the Horizons, There Is a Hell, this episode. Not really a lot to go on background-wise. It's just kind of more of what they were doing on the last album, but they experimented a little bit more with, like, orchestral stuff and electronics a little bit more. There's nothing really noteworthy in, like, the recording process or anything.
Yeah.
Really. Just kind of standard whatever. Actually, there's something in here about Skrillex providing background vocals on a track. What is it? Is that on Visions? Did not know that. So that's interesting. But yeah, nothing really to talk about background of the album, so we can get straight into it. Track number 1, Crucify Me.
All right. I love this track as the intro to this album. There's super like metaphorical lines in here. Like everything has strong imagery. I think the layered vocals, where it's kind of like Ali dueling with himself, especially throughout the verses, is a really cool concept for the album being there's a hell, there's a heaven, right? Like I think this is just a really strong opening. I also think it's really cool that this one, compared to the last album, introduces some new like melodic elements, some more like melody song sounding synths rather than just yelling, screaming metal, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely love this. I love this beginning track for this album. There, I love when Bring the Horizon does like starts to go into their more electronic stuff and that synths and stuff. I love that. I feel like they blend it very, very well with their style, and they just kind of continue to do so. And this is again kind of them bringing it more to the forefront. I love the just pure metalcore sing and just you can still tell that this is still very much like metalcore almost at its like at its core, I guess you could say. It's it's very good. I like this one a lot.
I think the only complaint I have about this is that some of the mixing at the beginning isn't too great. Like, Ollie's vocals kind of seem buried under the instrumental a tiny bit, but it seems to get, like, better near the end. Just a minor thing. I love this track. Like, it's just the mixing is maybe not the best. Love the kind of, I guess you'd call it, like, orchestral kind of chorus-type vocals in here. I really love some of the like glitched vocals kind of near the end there. It's good. Solid opening.
Yeah, lights also add something super cool to this track, that there's more depth to it. It's not just Ollie's voice. Like I think that really contributes to that orchestral sound that you gave it, Mike. That like there's another layer to it that isn't just Ollie shouting.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Ollie still has not fully learned how to scream without hurting himself. So this album is still going to have some of those painful screams, but he eventually learns that he needs to not kill his own voice.
All right. Track number 2, Anthem.
All right. I think for all of the reasons that I liked the last track are all of the reasons that this one just kind of feels to me. There's not a lot of complexity. There's not a lot of depth. It's back to that kind of like grindy, churning sound from Suicide Season. Like, it's not a bad song, but it just, I think it doesn't necessarily fit the parts of this album that I do like. I will say though that this one kind of like adds in some themes of like the end of days, some religious elements, especially in the spoken outro. But it a lot of the lyrics so far through the first 2 songs have been about like bringing upon the end of something, which I think is kind of notable.
Yeah, like I'd say like instrumental wise and maybe like vocal wise, this one felt a little bit more of like kind of a filler-ish track. It didn't necessarily feel as maybe as grand as the last one does, or like maybe necessarily even a continuation. This one kind of comes off as a very thrashy, fast-paced. This is a moshing song. I mean, all of their songs are moshing songs, but like this is one of the ones that I can be like, that point where Mike stopped it. I'm pretty sure is like the designated wait for wall of death point in a song. Like you have the wait between like the chorus and the breakdown, or the breakdown and the next chorus, and it is just like you can tell in these metalcore songs when they basically tell you, or they're timing it when they're telling you, okay, wall of death now. This just feels like kind of one of those songs, which isn't a bad thing. You know, all metalcore, I'm sure, albums have those songs. This isn't the most complex song. Yeah, they also do. I'd say that Bring Me the Horizon, at least maybe from kind of starting the last album, but definitely more so now, they start to put in more like religious like references, or like kind of symbolists, kind of like religious symbolism, I guess. I mean, this one literally talks about heaven and hell, so I mean, you know, that's pretty religious, I guess you could say. I mean, it's still enjoyable. It's still enjoyable. It's still a fun metalcore song, but yeah, it's not necessarily my favorite from them.
Yeah, it just kind of sounds like a track from the last album. It would blend right in. There's nothing really notable about it. It's not a bad song. It's just nothing really noteworthy. It's all right. All right, track. Ooh, OBS. There we go. Track number 3. It Never Ends.
This is without a doubt like one of my favorite Bring Me the Horizon songs of all time. I love the way that like that orchestral, like high pitched, flowy sound interacts with like the just transition into chugging guitars. You can definitely hear the emotion in his voice. Like it's powerful and impactful. I think that every second of this song has something positive about it. Like it just flows super well together. It fits perfectly into the album. I love this one.
This this one is also probably in my like top 5 or top 10 favorite Bring Me the Horizon songs. I This is also one of those. This is one of those ones I've heard relentlessly, and I don't think I'll ever get fucking tired of it. I love the string instruments that they use. You can hear that in the background over, I think, like the verse or the chorus. I love the choral vocals that you get. The electronic instruments. This just kind of wraps like some of my favorite like elements that metal, and just metal in general, but also Ollie now specifically, have like started to incorporate, that I just love so much. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else for me to add other than, I mean, I love this. I guess to note that this is one of those songs that does have a I guess a, you could say, has the deeper meaning in Ollie's like past struggles with addiction, and his current struggles with addiction, that kind of stuff. So you know, they've this album, they've definitely started to take their lyrics a little bit more seriously, at least.
Yeah, this is a really fucking good song. Noticing the drums on this, I really love the drums on this a lot. Like, he's going ham for sure. Back to more of the sound that we got from the first track, which I definitely like how they're experimenting with that kind of orchestral sound with this so far. Yeah, really, really fucking good. I don't know what else to say that you guys haven't already, so we can move right along to track number 4. Fuck.
All right, this song is just Ollie got horny on Maine, dude. Like that's no, the whole song is just, hey, let's fuck, dude. I really want to fuck. I do love Josh Francesi's voice, and I feel like it adds such a good piece to this song that makes it sound a whole lot better as a song. But really, genuinely, I got nothing else. Ollie just wants to fuck.
Yeah, I spoke a little bit too soon, didn't I, about the lyrics? No, I'm kidding. These still have, I'd say, a little bit more effort put into them than the Suicide Season. This is yeah. There's not much else to say about it. This is fun metalcore at its fucking best, honestly. And yeah, Josh, I do think Josh puts in a lot in that that outro there. That one he did a really good job overall, but that last bit was really good too. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, just kind of really thrashy up until the end, where they kind of change it up and slow it down a little bit, which is kind of unexpected, honestly. Like, you just go hard, really hard for like majority of the song, and then you're like, actually, breaks a little bit. It's good. All right, track number 5, "Don't Go."
So it was interesting that you mentioned at the end of the last one, Mike, that the song kind of slowed down unexpectedly, but I feel like it really adds something to listen to the album straightforward to bring it into this one. Much like you mentioned a couple songs ago, Conley, this feels like a song that like they really care about, that they put effort into the lyrics, that you can feel the emotion and how much it matters. I think bringing Lights back for a second feature in this album really added some depth to this one and made it more like emotional. I think it's really good. It's just super slow and not necessarily a sound that I go looking for from Bring Me the Horizon, but it is a good track.
Yeah, I also think that this is a really good track that I may just not necessarily seek out when I'm looking for like a metalcore from Bring Me the Horizon, but like on this album, especially like the transition, it does Ollie does do that transition really well, and I think that this would probably the like kind of going into the slow point isn't necessarily like bad or even slow. I guess it just feels different. It still feels like Bring Me the Horizon, just kind of different. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, this is also something that I kind of almost forget is on the album sometimes, just because of the fact that I'm always when I hear Bring Me the Horizon, I think Crucify Me or Pray for Plagues. So a little, or something more recent, but yeah, it's still good. I still like this one a lot.
So this is one of the ones that I remember from when I listened to this way back when. It was one of my favorites then, and I still think it holds up now, for sure. Yeah, it's really good. Not a whole lot else to say about it. So we can move on to track number 6, "Home Sweet Hole."
All right. I absolutely adore the guitar in this song. The chugging, churning, but still melodic kind of sound that is the intro to this song and comes back a few times. Just man, it touches me in all the right places, dude. I love it. The group singing kind of chorus, I feel like adds something here. I really enjoy this track. It is kind of simple, but I still really love it. Really basic, nothing new or different, but it's good.
Yeah, this is a really fun track. I love loving the chugging guitar and the that the like post chorus, or that like the kind of harmony, not really harmony, but like the more in sync singing. Yeah, that was really like a nice addition, I think. Yeah, I don't really have much else to add other than the fact that this is just a really fun song, and I mean it is metalcore to its core again. This album is is kind of a I mean, a lot of Bring Me the Horizon's work, especially, like this one, it seems like had a lot of influence on metalcore, not just, not anymore deathcore. That was a while ago. Now they have a lot more of that influence on metalcore.
I feel like I've been deceived. Song claims to be about Hole, but it is not about Good Kind. I can't believe you've done this. Real talk though, song's alright. It's fine. I don't hate it really, but nothing really stands out to me. It's okay. Alrighty, track number 7, "Alligator Blood."
All right, I absolutely love this track. I recognize that like there's the things that I love about this album do not appear anywhere in this song. I love that melodic sound. I love all of that. It's just metalcore. It just unnecessarily violent Russian roulette. Paint the walls with my brains. Like it's such a jam, dude. I love this song.
Very fun, I'd say, fast metalcore moshing song. Just kind of the epitome of fucking mosh your goddamn brains out, pretty much. Especially with all these kind of return to like those kind of almost guttural or more deep sounding vocals there at the end. Yeah, this is. I mean, Ted's right. Yeah, this doesn't have all the orchestral and the like grandiose kind of like chorus singing, but this is just fun. Honestly, it's just a fun metalcore song.
I don't mind it. I definitely prefer, the more experimental stuff that they're doing on this album so far, but I don't really mind them going back and doing what they were doing from the previous album. Uh, it's not really my favorite per se, but I don't hate it. Like, it's fine if they want to just do no nonsense metalcore stuff. Like, it's cool. Not a bad track. All right, moving on to track number 8, Visions.
This track to me, I always kind of forget that it exists, but every time I find it again, I get super happy. This one is just kind of taking alligator blood from the last track. They just like, we really had fun doing this metalcore stuff, but weren't we trying to do some experimental stuff? They throw about 30 seconds worth of like an orchestral background behind like one of the verses, and then it's just the same song all over again. This bangs. I love it.
Yeah, this almost feels like they would play the previous song at a show, and then like the crowd might be tired, but like that intro just kind of sounds like the Ollie telling the crowd to, no, you're not done yet. There's another song and you're moshing. I don't fucking care. Get in that goddamn circle pit and go, motherfucker. Um, the amount of times that you can hear Ollie scream for a circle pit or just a pit in general at a show is just insane. And this is the kind of song, like the last one, that just screams moshing. Um, it's another fun banging metalcore track. I swear the intro, or maybe it's the beginning of the verse, there's almost this like Bring Me the Horizon sound to their guitar chugging that's like it's almost immediately distinguishable to, I'm like, that is a Bring Me the Horizon fucking verse or intro, whatever. I'm like, I can tell that it's them chugging. It's weird, but I still enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, not a bad song at all. Not really a whole lot to say about this one. I noted earlier before we started the album, that Skrillex Sonny Moore is supposedly buried in this track somewhere. I was trying to figure out where he is, and I can't tell. It's buried. He's buried in there. Though, speaking of him, he did do, I guess, some additional production on this album as well. So it's not just on that track. So that's cool. All right. Track number 9, Blacklist.
All right. I think this might be the first one in 3 albums that I like actively dislike. The cadence for this one feels super off. Like it's just it's like we want to add all these words and we don't have enough space to do it, or we have too much space to do it, but let's just make these words work and not change anything. I think the guitar played the same 3 notes the entire time. The drums were boring. The glitchy vocals are okay, but I think this one was kind of mixed badly, that everything blended into everything else. I really just don't enjoy this one at all.
I for the most part agree. This isn't my favorite. I mean, I can't say that it's necessarily, but I'm also not going to probably look this song. I don't look at the song like out for this song. It just feels like it kind of blends into the background to a lot of their other better songs, especially on this album. It very much, if I think I said like the second or third song was kind of a filler. This one very much felt kind of filler-ish, I guess. Yeah, it's okay, not my favorite.
This one definitely feels out of place with everything else. Interestingly, this song seems to be about former guitarist Curtis Ward, who they fired during the touring cycle of Suicide Season. Apparently, he had little input on any previous albums and picked fights with people and was really only in the band for money. And then in 2014, they invited him on stage to play Pray for Plagues to kind of cut the tension that they had with him. So, interesting.
Very interesting.
All right. So track number 10, Memorial, is an instrumental. And I'm going to let that play into the next track, number 11, Blessed with a Curse. So, 2 tracks. Let's go.
All right. I'm not a huge fan of the instrumental track, but it does have like a refreshing follow-up to Blacklist. It does transition really smoothly into Blessed with a Curse, though, which is like as close as Bring Me the Horizon has ever come to a ballad, I think. I think that like it's really impactful, really powerful. There's super strong percussion. The vocals are really good. Everything just kind of flows and feels smooth. This feels like a really solid end of the album, and it upsets me every time I listen to it in this format that it's not the end of the album. But an absolutely great song. I love Blessed with a Curse.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the instrumental. It's always weird sometimes to hear that on like this early of a Bring Me the Horizon album. I mean, I guess you could still call this early because I mean, I expect this from more of a more present day Ollie than 2010 Ollie, but regardless, I still enjoy the instrumental. I love that kind of electronic sound, and the transition into Blessed with the Curse is really nice. I really do enjoy that, and yeah, it is kind of a shame that this isn't the last, like the closing of the album, because I think that would fit almost perfectly. But I mean, I still really like this like combination.
Yeah, the transition off the instrumental track was really good. The instrumental track itself, I'd say, is like a good refresher after the track that comes before it. And yeah, this would be a really fucking good way to end the album. Like the song is it was one of my favorites back then, and it definitely still holds up now. And it's not the end. There's one more track after this, and it's like, what were you doing? I also really like how it sounds like Ollie's voice is going out at the very end. Like, it's good. So yeah, the actual final track, number 12, Fox and the Wolf.
All right. I get why this one is the end of this album, right? Like it's very clearly a drugs are bad and I don't want to do this anymore, right? Like I get it. But it really feels like just an extra 2 minutes of metalcore and to finish what was already like a very clean end to this album. It's not a bad song. It's quick. It gets its point across. I get its impact and its meaning, but just doesn't do much for me, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely I like the song. I like it being on the album. I just wish it may have been like the song before Memorial and Bless Secure. I mean, it's like I said, it's not bad. I just think maybe it's not in the right spot. But I mean, it does still stick to their like anti-drug message, or at least the drug addiction messages that they were lacing out through this whole album. So I mean, it's good, just not my favorite position.
Yeah, the song's fine. It needed to be earlier. It feels out of place at the very end. Features Josh Scogan, who at the time of recording this was with a band called Chariot. I know him from his current project, a two-piece band called 68. Cool. I guess he does all right on this. 68 is more of like a noise rock kind of punk band. So it's kind of interesting hearing him on something like older, I guess. Definitely highly recommend checking out 68, by the way. They fucking rule. They have a new album out that I need to listen to, but those guys are really cool. But anyway, overall, I don't know. This album's kind of a mixed bag. I like the more experimental, orchestral, kind of glitchy stuff that they have going on. I don't really mind them going back and doing the more kind of straight metalcore stuff from Suicide Season, but I definitely prefer the more experimental stuff here. It's kind of weird. I guess it's okay. It's just I don't know. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, honestly, like I when I was younger, I used to spend so much more time listening to this album versus Suicide Season. Like this was much more the right genre for me. I fully went in expecting to place this first. Um, I don't know. To listen to them now, like I much prefer Suicide Season because at least it was cohesive. Like this is still a really good album. There are still songs that I listen to all the time. It Never Ends is in every playlist I've probably made since high school. Alligator Blood still slaps. Like this album is really good. Don't get me wrong, but I guess I'm just kind of down on it from where I used to be, and I'm surprised at myself listening to it that I feel so not high on it.
Yeah, I mean, I it's honestly kind of difficult for me to rank. I think this and Suicide Season like above or below each other. They're both very much similar-ish to me. I'd say that obviously this album had a little bit more of their experimental side with a lot more electronics and orchestral stuff. I want to say right now I'd almost put it in descending order as we've listened to them, like for this one, Suicide Season, then Count Your Blessings. But goddamn, if I listen to Suicide Season, this one back to back, I might flip flop those two every other fucking week. So it really depends. But so far, that's where I'm sitting at.
Yeah, like this one and the last one are like so close to each other. It feels I don't really know which one I would put in front of the other. Right now I have Suicide Season first, and then this one, and then Count Your Blessings last. Um, but it could very easily like flip flop, honestly. All right, let me save my little list here for now. So yeah, that's all I got for this one. Next episode, we will be doing Sempiternal. I'm going to be out of town next weekend, but I come back on Sunday, but I'm going to be operating on like zero sleep. So we'll see if I feel like recording or not. I will let you guys know.
Okay.
Sounds
good.
So if you guys don't have anything else, we can wrap up here.
Yep, that's it.
For me.
Alrighty. Catch y'all next time then.